This is the A to Z index, and the reason I have an A to Z index in my survival program is because it is so huge. There's so much data. Back in the late 1990s, I had trouble remembering where I put everything. Between the written stuff, the packages, the newsletters, the special reports, the special intelligence reports, the videos. So I had to come up with the A to Z index. So this is the A to Z index. This is a sanitized version. If you see right here, it's a sanitized version. When you become a subscriber, you'll get the real A to Z index, meaning you'll see it here in a second. Some of the things, or many of the things, I have to X out because I don't want to get in trouble, and I don't want to give you any ideas, especially with the fire starting, the advanced and the ultra advanced fire starting. So I X'd it out. So this is the sanitized version. Second, and most important, with this A to Z index, you'll see this video. You'll see the quantity and the quality of my survival program. I've always challenged folks that buy my stuff or anybody that looks at my stuff, if you can find a better survival program, buy it. And I tell them, hey, this is probably one of the best in the world, better than any military or civilian survival program, and you're going to see it right here. Just the quantity and the quality. There are more than 10,000 survival entries. More than 10,000 survival entries, and you're going to see them real quick. I'm going to try to make this video as short as possible, but I'll tell you what, I tried it one time and it ran about 46 minutes. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to try to cut it down to at least no less than 30 minutes. We'll see what happens, because I want to talk about certain stuff here throughout the A to Z index. So here we go. This is page 1, and you notice the subjects on the left hand side, and where you find it is on the right hand side. For example, here's a newsletter, October 2001 newsletter, 2006 newsletter, June 2001 newsletter, or it's a video, or it's a package, or it's a special report. That's where you'll find it when you become a subscriber. Anyway, scrolling down, you'll see the numbers, small numbers next to the survival subject. That's where I started out at as far as recording everything, and the numbers get bigger and bigger. So I want to put them in number order first, and then alphabetical order. And you see them get bigger and bigger, and when you see the number, that tells you how many survival subjects are in that particular thing, that particular survival subject. For example, you see 13 Apache survival subjects, 13 plus more right here. You see 13 uses of baking soda, 15 POW survival tricks, 15 unforgiving Australian wilderness survival right there. Here we get all the smart critter survival tricks right in here. Parts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on and so forth. There's hundreds of smart critter survival tricks because we can all learn from the critters. Insect, small game, big game. Whether they're in the air, on the ground, or below the ground, or below water, we can all learn from the smart critters, because I believe that it's beyond instinct. They can decide yes, no, and make decisions like we can. And as we're going along, you see the numbers are getting bigger and bigger. 239 fishing tricks, international fishing tricks. 259 smart critters tricks, like I just told you before. 339 international smart tricks, and this is my 2006 newsletter right there. And here's my biggest newsletter right here. 469 more international survival tricks from Indians, expeditions, lone survivors, bushmen, nomads, critters. That's over 100,000 word count. That's that newsletter right there. And I tell folks, just that newsletter alone, you'll learn more than in that newsletter than in any other military or civilian survival course, program, whatever. Let me show you something real quick before I forget. Here are the number of pages in this A to Z index. 145 pages. Total word count 77,196. This is a sanitized version. I'm always upgrading the other version, the real one you're going to get when you become a subscriber. So it's got more detail to it, and just a tad bit bigger. Here we got Advanced Fire Starting Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. And you notice I X'd out certain things in here because I don't want anybody getting any ideas. So that's why it's sanitized. Advanced Fire Starting Part 2, and you set Part 3. Here you go. We got Part 4 right there. A lot of fire starting. I consider myself one of the best in the world when it comes to emergency fire starting, legal emergency fire starting. Okay, I've invented and discovered a lot of uh, fire starting application techniques and tricks you'll never see anywhere else in any other program. 25 Alaskan survival tricks there. Okay, America's Elite. I always talk about America. I talk about America's Elite because I want to know folks. I want to tell folks that you're getting your money's worth. When I talk about America's Elite, I'm talking about my personal career in the military. I started out in the infantry in the 82nd Airborne, and then I tried out for Army Special Forces, nicknamed the Green Berets. And by the way, the Green Beret itself doesn't mean crap because everybody gets one. It's what's on their left shoulder that counts. You know, it says Special Forces, the tab. Okay, there's America's Elite Parts 1 and 2, and it goes into other parts. So I wrote that up, and there's survival tricks in there. And just to know that, let the taxpayers know that you're getting your money's work out of all those guys, those elite type guys, because they put in very, very long hours. Okay, long, and like I say, I tell myself a lot of miserable hours too. Okay, Anasazi survival tricks. 75. This is a good one. 75 animal calls, sound signals, and decoys to compel insect, small game, and big game to come to you within point blank range. Good write up there. This is real stuff. This is international, and these are the tricks that the Native American Indians use, the mountain men use. Okay, these are some of the same tricks, and I even interviewed modern day hunters, and they told me what they did. Whether it's illegal or not doesn't matter because this is an information product only. I'm just telling you that. Okay, 39 anti-tracking facts and tricks used by the U.S. Army Green Berets. And let me keep going here. Apache survival tricks right there. More Apache survival tricks, parts 1 and 2. And Comanche. There's an anti-mineral survival subjects and section video guide. Okay. By the way, when you get the videos, there's more than 36 hours of videos. You'll get a very detailed guide with hundreds of time hacks, so you can go to any video and go forward, back, whatever, and to go to any subject. Arapaho Indian survival tricks, Arawak Indian survival tricks. Okay, Native American Indians, I've always said they're the real survivors. They are North America and Aboriginal tribes. They are the real survivors throughout the world. Okay, Australian wilderness. I always want to go to Australia. This is Australian wilderness, like the outback. Very unforgiving. You can learn some good wilderness survival tricks in there. Very unforgiving to the ignorant and the disrespectful against Mother Nature and all she possesses. And here we go, basic fire starting techniques. You just notice it's blacked out. I mean X'd out. And you got 23 baton survival tricks right there. Big time in survival tricks by the soldiers, Air Force, Navy, Army, Marines, Coast Guard, especially during the wars. Basic navigation techniques. Bears, bees, and beeswax. A lot of incidents with bears. You got to respect them big critters, ornery critters. Okay, just because they're cute, you don't go up to them and mess with them. Black bag survival tricks parts 1 and 2. And see how detailed it is. And we're barely on page 17 of 145 pages. 49 blood survival tricks. Real good reading. This is real stuff. This stuff, blood has saved a lot of folks, a lot of survivors' lives. Okay, and I talk about that in different newsletters. 9 Buffalo Bill survival tricks. You all know about Buffalo Bill. If you don't, you will in that newsletter. And then we go Buffalo right there. Caches. You got to know about caches. Hunter, campers, hikers, soldiers, you got to know about caches, how to hide your stuff. Okay, the real way. Okay, 19 cactus drinks, foods, and medicines. Real survival, especially used by the Indians in that part of the area. Camouflage, that part of the area of the United States, Southwest United States. Camouflage and Canada. Talk about Canada. Real detailed about Canada. And we got cancer. Cancer kills I figure about 500,000 people a year, and heart disease kills another 500,000 people a year. Okay, you got to know about cancer and that thing. Here we go. We'll get into health survival here a little bit more. Catawba survival tricks. "29 charcoal uses." Cherokee survival tricks. Cheyenne Indian survival tricks. Choctaw survival tricks. Chinook out of California survival tricks. Chippewa survival tricks. Okay. Now this video, I know I'm going faster, but you can always play it back and forth and pause it, and you know, coconuts. A lot of data on coconuts. 75 cold weather survival tricks where creatures are comfort, fragile creatures of comfort. You got to know cold weather survival tricks, okay? Because you ain't gonna last long, especially when you get caught out there, you're not expecting it. And the way I teach to avoid the problems, the survival threat in the first place, then carry on from there. 32 more cold weather survival tricks. Comanche, Indian, Texas Ranger survival tricks. That's actually part one. We'll see part two here in a little bit. Colorado survival tragedy. Real life story. I break it up because we can always learn from that. I don't tell you their names or anything like that. Just out of respect for the family. 139 concoctions. These are international. This is real stuff. Excellent write up on concoctions. Okay, and I've used a lot of this stuff myself because it works. And I've used one recently. If I remember, I'll tell you about it when we get to healing. And crocodilians. We're talking about crocodilians covers the alligators, crocodiles, and caimans. So crocodilians, that term covers everything. And you got to know about them critters, the real mean critters. You come into water obstacles, especially where they're at. You got to know what you're doing. And believe it or not, you can even outswim them. And I'll tell you how to do it. Believe it or not, it's all about survival. Daniel Boone survival tricks, Davy Crocker survival tricks, 2 world-class mountain men, 99 desert survival tricks. Again, we're creatures of comfort, fragile creatures of comfort. You get in that desert, you don't know what you're doing. You're gonna end up dead, plain and simple. Okay. Real survival, international. Here in the United States, Africa, like you see right there, the Kalahari on the left-hand side. This is real survival. Okay. Detoxification, excellent for your body. Okay. You don't know, but there's a lot of crap in your body you got to get rid of. When you do that, hey, then your immune system will actually work a lot better because it's fighting right now. 24 hours a day, it's fighting. But when you when you detox your body, your immune system will actually go after what's really messing you up that a detox can't cover. Okay, Donner Party survival tricks. This Donner Party really touched my heart when I did that intensive research. Okay, real survival tricks by the Donner Party. Drown proofing, 29 emergency first aid acupressure applications. When there's no doctor, you got to do something. That's a plain fact. Okay, no qualified doctor right then and there, or you can't get to one. You got to do something. So this will come in mighty handy. Ecuadorian wilderness, beautiful country. I've been there at least once. I remember. 99 emergency foods. Must know information. 17 emergency first aid reflexology applications. Another thing between that and emergency foods. Hey, there's no doctor. You got to do something. Okay. You're in a survival situation. You're the person in charge. You got to do something. You just can't let them get sicker or let them die. Okay. A lot of emergency foods right there. You can see that right there. Okay. "25 Eskimo Survival Tricks Part 1. And here's Part 2 coming up right there. Okay, and there's Part 3 and Part 4. There's Part 3 and you just saw Part 4. And exercises, special exercises. Okay. Health is part of survival. When I talk about survival, I'm talking about wilderness, health, crime, and money survivals. Expeditions and explorations, there you are. You got them right there. Okay, you can learn from these guys too. Throughout history, throughout the world. Field expedient directions. I teach more than 30 ways to find directions. You gotta know that, because how do you know your compass is actually on, or if it's working at all, or if you don't have a compass? Field expedient fire starting. You see more X's. I had to X a lot of that stuff out, or some of it. Field expedient plant procurement. When I'm talking about that, it's easy to get plants, but how do you know you can eat it? So I teach you the edibility test. Okay, There's more than 350, between whoever you're listening to, there's between 300 and 350,000 plants on the earth, whether it's on the ground, underground, or on the water or below water. So how do you know that plant's edible? So you got to do your individual edibility test for you. The person right next to you, they got to do their own edibility test, because not one person is the same. Field expedient shelters, field expedient signaling techniques, field expedient time estimation, 55 field expedient water crossing tricks, okay? Field expedient water procurement, field expedient weather forecasting. Total weather forecasting, I'll teach you more than 50, 60, 70 ways to forecast weather without any modern devices. Field expedient weapons, always got to have a weapon on. Even if it's your plain old fish, you got to know how to fight. Okay, 75 uses, film canister survival kits. There, I tell you all the 75 uses, and then we're getting into fire right here. 399 fire and fire starting applications. A lot. I had to X most of it out. Okay, so if there's one thing you do when it comes to the 8 elements of survival, which are fire, water, shelter, first aid, signal, food, weapons, and navigation, if you get fire going and you know nothing from nothing about survival, hey, you're doing real good. You're doing real good. You're doing better than most. Okay, and I don't teach the bow and drill, spin drill, fire trough, those prehistoric fire starting, because 99.9999% of folks can't get it to work. Okay, those that can, hey, I applaud you, more power to you. But I'll tell you this: when it comes to being in a hyperthermic environment, those guys can't even start a fire using the spin drill, fire trough, and bow and drill. It's impossible when you're hyperthermic. So I teach better ways, faster ways, quicker ways, easier ways to start emergency legal fires when your life's on the line. You know, I've invented how to start fires using things like shampoo, toothpaste, mouthwash, things like stuff like that, personal care products, first aid products, because you're going to take them out there with you anyway. Why not know how to start fires with them, emergency legal fires with them, to save your life? Okay. So you see right there, there's a lot of fire. I've already gone 3 or 4 pages of just fire alone, okay? Because it's so important of the 8 elements of survival: fire, water, shelter, first aid, signal, food, weapons, and navigation. Fire, pound for pound, is the most important as far as I'm concerned, because it satisfies all the other 7 elements of survival. Okay, 110 emergency first aid application. There you go again. No doctor, you got to do something. Okay, and then we get to these concoctions over here. Whoops, I missed it. The concoctions. Maybe I didn't. Oh, I already covered them. Yeah, when it comes to concoctions, first aid, reflexology, all that stuff, if there's no doctor, you got to do something. I'm not saying you're the doctor, but you got to do something. Okay? And right now, according to that legend, the thing on the left-hand side, we're at page 46 of 145. We're still cooking along. We're at 18 minutes so far. 239 fishing tricks. When it comes to gathering food, the easiest are the insects and plants, and then comes the fish. And there's more ways you can catch fish right here. You just can't help it, whether freshwater or saltwater. There's a lot of ways to get fish. Sometimes you got to be patient, but they'll come. You'll get them. Okay? And it'll be well worth it. Flies, and then we got free fuel over here on the right hand side. And because you throw a lot of stuff away that you shouldn't, you can redesign or reuse it for free fuel. Then we got game preparation. Garlic, very important. I know I'm missing a lot of the other survival tricks. I'm just giving the title of a lot of things. A lot of them don't have titles, 99 healings. There you go. No doctor. You got to do something. And I think I almost missed it. Let me see here. Yeah, I did. It's right in here somewhere. I'll tell you how I use cabbage to heal my wound, my knee. All I did, I woke up one day, had a big bubble-like thing with water inside of it on my knee. It hurt like heck. I didn't do nothing with it for a few days, and I finally did something. So I used cabbage, and it worked great. And I'll tell you exactly how I did it when you become a subscriber. Not only that, but there's many, 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 many more, hundreds. Okay, Hidasta Indian survival tricks, height sites, Especially you guys in the military, you gotta know about hide sites, hibernating critters, and survival tricks, especially when you're evading. Um, 25 home invasion tactics and 39 home injuries. These go hand in hand. Okay, I talk about home injuries and home invasion tactics. You got to learn how to defend yourself because there's all them scumbags come in your house uninvited. You got to do something, or they'll do what they want. They'll kill you, they'll hurt you, whatever. Take your life savings. Kill your family members. So you have a right to defend yourself. That's just me saying that. I'm not telling you to do it. If you don't want to do it, don't. Okay, hooch. Talk about how to make your own hooch. But then again, I do talk about where to get these kits so you can make your own beer or wine. But what I talk about is how the POWs, prisoners of war, made their own hooch. Okay, 209 hot weather survival tricks. We're all fragile creatures of comfort. Hey, it gets over 100 degrees, people start dying. Even you saw it this last summer. The temperatures got triple digit, people started dying. Okay, and that's in the city. Now, what happens when you're in a wilderness environment? It's a lot worse, I tell you. So you got to know what to do. 39 hypnosis tricks. I'm not only talking about humans, I'm talking about critters. I do teach you how to hypnotize critters. Okay, capture them, make a silent kill so you don't alert everybody around you. I'm talking about if you're in a evasion type scenario. Okay, 55 incredible mysteries, parts 1, 2, and 3. These are all true, except for one of them. They're all 100. As far as I know, they're all 100% true. And the reason I talk about that is a lot of people are just scared of the dark, So I talk about this so when something happens to you, you don't become overwhelmed with fear and panic because you already know about it in the first place. Okay, sure you'll be scared, but you're not outright overcome and just spaz out from the get go. Okay, odds are it ain't going to happen, but 1 in 100,000 chance something might happen. Okay, Native American Indians, there they are, the real survivors. These are in North America. Okay, and the other Aboriginal tribes throughout the world, those folks are the real survivors. Okay, or were. A lot of them, like Indian tribes in North America right now, they don't practice what they used to do. Hundreds of years ago or thousands of years ago, they don't practice it anymore. They're modernized. Okay, but what I intensively research is how they survived their environments when there were no modern appliances, no modern anything. Okay. Okay. Unknown Indian survival tricks, parts 1, 2. There's some more coming. We're clocking at 22 minutes so far. I gotta get moving. And part 3 and part 4 and part I think that's part 5. I'm not sure. Okay, part 4. Yeah, unknown Indian survival tricks, hundreds of them. 50 insect repellents. A lot of some of them I learned from folks that are just awesome. They work real good, and you can use these instead of going and buying some expensive stuff. Okay, you can make your own. Okay, 99 insect survival tricks. You can learn from the insects. I'm telling you, just like you learn from the bigger critters, small and big game. You can learn from insects. You can learn from plants. And we got inside the CIA, inside the DEA, inside the FBI, inside the ATF, inside the NSA. Okay, little writers on those. Those are unclassified, of course. Instant millionaires. Why didn't I think of that? That comes part of money survival. 19 international field expedient cooking pots, stoves, and ovens, insulating using fat end grease. And there's one of my first, one of the bigger newsletters, 2003, 260 international survival application techniques and tricks. There you go. That's a big one right there. But bigger ones are coming here. I'll show you in a second. Look how big that is. Very detailed. Alphabetical. We're in the F's, G's, J's, K's. We're halfway through here. Huge newsletter. Okay, and here comes the 2004 newsletter, another huge one. 250 more international application techniques and tricks. That's short for what you're just reading there. I don't think I told you. I started writing in 1991. So what you're seeing is more than 20 years of uh, of work. Okay. And here comes my biggest. You just saw the 2004 newsletter. Here comes my biggest one. This is the 2005 newsletter right there on the left hand side. It's over 100,000 word count. 100,000 word count. Okay. And I tell folks just in that newsletter alone, the 2005 newsletter, you'll learn more real survival than if you attended any civilian or military survival course. And that's a fact. You know, you can look at my credentials. I'm a qualified Army SEER instructor. Okay, so basically that's what I'm doing now. I'm instructing on the civilian side, of course. By the way, the Army has two SEER schools. One is the B level, which is an instructor course, which focuses on invasion, I guess, if you will, and the other one is the C level course, which focuses on you're already captured, okay, and it focuses on surviving POW environment, prisoner of war environment. Anyway, in the B level, the course I attended, the instructor course, they had a saying: it is better to evade for 6 months than to be a prisoner for one day. I believe that. Okay. Yeah. You think about those POWs that are still, and I sincerely believe it because of the book I read. I'll tell you about when you get their survival program. Uh, it's a sad, very sad, but there's still American POWs alive from the Vietnam War. Just like there were still alive POWs, they're probably still alive from the Korean War, and tens of thousands of POWs alive from World War II. They just were abandoned, big time abandoned. Just it pisses me off just thinking about it. And there we have 339 more. This is the 2006 newsletter, Survival Tricks there. Another huge newsletter. And if you go to the newsletters on the website you're just coming from, or if you go to www.survivalexpert.com, go to that website and you'll see the stats on each of those packages, like the newsletters. You see the word count and all that other stuff. Okay, and you also you go through that entire website. You also go to other websites you can look at too. But I want to put this video online just to show you, just to prove to you that undisputably the 2012 Ultra Advanced Anytime Anywhere Survival Program, and I have 3 survival programs, that's one of them, that are the best programs on the earth. The one I just told you about, the 2012 Ultra Advanced Anytime Anywhere Survival Program total package, weighs 60 pounds going out the door. 60 pounds. And this is proof right here from what you're seeing. You know, between all the written material and the videos and all the survival products that I actually make for you, you know, because I know you just don't have the time to make them, okay? Or basically you don't know how, so I make them for you. And many of them I show you how to make them, so next time you run out of them, I'll show you how to make them yourself. And plus they're good guides. You can make your own, okay? You don't have to do exactly what I tell you. You can use your imagination, make your own, you know, orientated to, or the way you want them made, okay? Focus towards your environment, towards that part of the year, you know, the season, you know. Winter's different from summer, you know, especially where you're at in that part of the country. For example, the Mojave Desert in summer is far different from Wisconsin in the winter. Okay, we got here the 2007 newsletter. Saw how huge that was. And then we're coming in the 2008 newsletter, 229 more survival tricks. I always say 229 or whatever the number is, and then I put a plus. And so you'll know there's more. So it's just giving you an idea. I like to give you more than you expect. Okay? And I like putting out numbers so you can see exactly how much you're getting. Okay? So a lot of my titles I always put numbers before the title so you can see how much you're getting. And you're looking at the 2008 newsletter right now. You see that ASSN? That stands for Anytime Anywhere Survival Newsletter. clocking almost 30 minutes right now. And we come to the newsletter, the 2009 newsletter. There's only 39 plus survival tricks. This is my last newsletter. I'm still working on it, but I just got so busy. And these newsletters, believe it or not, they actually kick my butt as far as intensive research. They whooped me good. It took a lot out of me, a lot of work, a heck of a lot of work. Okay, knives to the point, all about knives, knots and weaving you can't live without. And there's Kit Carson, world-class survival expert. He learned from the Indians as a boy from the get-go. Okay, world-class survival expert, mountain man himself, leather and hides. And besides Kit Carson, you'll learn about another dozen, 15, 20 other mountain men. Okay, Lewis and Clark expedition, that's one of the expeditions you'll learn about. If it wasn't for Sacagawea, they probably wouldn't have survived that expedition. They'd have probably been killed by the Indians. According to my intensive research, that's what I feel anyway. Okay, and we got marksmanship, and one thing I know, it's besides many of the other subjects, it's marksmanship. So I'm teaching them the way I do stuff. So you can look on my credentials. I know what I'm talking about. So whether it's pistol marksmanship or rifle marksmanship, I got some good stuff to tell you about that. Okay, then we come into, here are the POW survival tricks, parts 1 through 9. There's 300 some plus survival tricks when it comes to military POWs throughout the wars, from the Civil War, to modern day. And then I talk about ghetto and concentration camp survival tricks from the World War II area. Then I also add in there incarcerated prisoners from prisons here in the United States. And one thing I've always said, prisoners, no matter where they come from or who they are, they're forced to invent so they can at least remedy or possibly try to make their living conditions a little bit more comfortable, more survivable. So they are forced to invent. And a lot of these are not only neat survival tricks, but a lot of them are just plain right ingenious. Okay? And there's part 8. Let me go back here real quick. Hold on. Okay. Military commando survival tricks. And you see right here, if you can see my cursor ain't working. I learned these two, mentally disappearing into thin air. I'm not making that up. Those are in the Incredible Mysteries. I interviewed 2 people. They don't know each other. One was an Army Green Beret, and the other one was a Marine Force Recon. Marine Force Recon was from the Vietnam era. He told me how he did it, and the Green Beret, the Army guy, I know him. I used to know him anyway. And he told me how he did his, and he was still excited because it happened just a few years before. He was still excited just talking about it. Okay, and he learned this from when he was going through the SEER program, the sea level. Okay. As far as I know, it's not classified, so I put it in there. Mosquitoes. 15 Mormon survival tricks. They're going from east to west, and they had their own survival tricks. 169 mountain man survival tricks. Right after the Indians, these were some bad dudes. I tell you what, the mountain men, very bad. When I say bad, I'm not talking about bad as in hurting other people. I'm talking about bad as in don't mess with these guys. Okay. So I talk about their survival tricks, and you can learn from them. You can copycat them. Okay. Nanticoke survival tricks. Mushrooms, you just got to know when to eat them and leave them alone. I'd leave them alone altogether myself. Nascapi survival tricks. Okay. World-class survivors. Navajo survival tricks. And then we get into navigation there a little bit. Ojibwa survival tricks. 43 Old West and older survival tricks. Inside the NSA right there. Thought I saw that before. Maybe I didn't. Okay. 29 Old West older survival tricks. Old West facts you never knew before. I've always been fascinated about the Old West. It's amazing how he crossed all that land against Mother Nature and all she possesses, and the Indians and all the problems they had. They still, Oregon Trail survival tricks, they just kept on going. Peanut butter, I tell you what, you go outdoors, put a bottle of peanut butter in your backpack with you, because you run out of food or something happens. That peanut butter is a meal in itself. They use peanut butter shipped overseas, if you don't know it, to folks that are malnourished, and they add a little supplement there because they have problems. The kids anyway have problems with eye problems with going blind. So, but anyway, peanut butter is a meal in itself. 25 Pine survival tricks. 119 poisonous plants, critters, and other poisons, and I X'd some of that stuff out because I didn't want you to get any ideas or get me in trouble, you know. But when you get the real survival program, you're not going to get the sanitized version of this A to Z index. Nothing's X'd out. You're going to see it just like you know, what you pay for. But then again, like I tell you, it's an information product only. I'm not telling you to go out there and get some of these plants and put in or make a poison dart out of them. And you read about some of these poisonous darts. They're so effective. You're toast. I don't care. There's a medevac helicopter right next to you to take you to the hospital. You're dead. Okay. Anyway, we got 13 prehistoric survival tricks. Powerful blowgun dart construction. You see the video on that one. Very powerful blowgun. That stuff you buy in the mail order, the mail, that them darts are worthless compared to this dart gun. Protecting your children against school violence. Pueblo Indian survival tricks. Rats. I tell you what, I told you about critters. They're smart, and you'll really see some real true stories on these rats, what they can do, or what they have done. Okay. Then you got ropes. Talk a lot about ropes, rope knots, and how to make bridges and stuff like that. Rappelling. Saliva. A lot of testimonies. A lot of historical facts using saliva as first aid. Then we got salt. You always have to have your salt, and I tell you how to make it, or how the pioneers and the frontiersmen and the others made their own salt. Scams. I should have renamed that scams and the scumbags behind them. Self-defense. "25 Shackleton Expedition Cold Weather Survival Tricks." Did intensive research on old Shackleton and his crew. Shouldn't forget about the captain. I think it's Worsley, I believe his name was. Survival, escape, resistant invasion. SEER. Okay. And I actually you actually receive my notes. I didn't know I was going to do this after the service, after I got out of the Army, but you actually see my notes when I went to SEER school. Okay. Sharks. I saved my book, so I turned that into a booklet. It's a pretty hefty booklet. Then we got 75 international shelters. Very, very important. That weather's coming down on you. Got to get the hell out of the weather. Okay, or you're dead. Simple as that. You're dead. Oh, here comes the Smart Critter Survival Tricks, parts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 and 9. Okay, hundreds of them. Hundreds of Smart Critter Survival Tricks. You can always learn from these critters. I'm telling you. They are the real survivors too. There's part 9 right there. 69 snake and snake bite remedies. You'll read some fascinating snake bite remedies. at least 3 of them, 4 of them, at least that you've never heard of before. And like I said, you're out there all by yourself with people in your party, whatever. Somebody gets tagged by a snake. Hey, you're the doctor. You got to do something. 79 snow survival tricks, orientated towards snow, of course. And then we go into, let me see here, page 124. We're getting there. 33 stress busters, not only in a survival environment, but you can use these just about anywhere. Okay, they really work. They'll lower your blood pressure. They'll calm you down. They really work. You get stressed out, you can't make the right decisions, whether you're in a survival environment or in your home. Okay. Last thing, you need to be stressed out, then you end up having a stroke or heart attack. And we talk about survival tricks. Survival tricks, true survival kits. They must satisfy the 8 elements of survival, which are fire, water, shelter, first aid, signal, food, weapons, and navigation. Then we got 19 survival tips, tricks, and concoctions. Part 1. There's Part 2, and there's Part 3. Table, scales, charts, lists, and formulas. You got to know those. I talk about those throughout the program. For example, the ice support measurements. Hey, if you're going to cross a lake that's iced over, how do you know it can support you or the people with you, or even a vehicle? You don't. Besides asking the forest ranger, I give you the measurements right there. Okay. Terrorism. Terrorist. My definition of terrorist, they're just plain old coward scumbags, They always prey on the innocent. People that can't defend themselves. And we got Texas Ranger Survival Tricks Part 1. You saw Texas Ranger Survival Tricks that's Part 2. You saw Texas Ranger Survival Tricks Part 1 20-30 minutes ago when I talked about the Comanches. Then we got Time in the Wilderness, and we got tobacco. Oh, tobacco, amazing survival uses with tobacco. And I tell you how the frontiers, how the pioneers did it. 50 international traps and snares. Been wanting to make a video on that for the longest time. Haven't done it. Okay, these are international traps and snares for everything from insects to big game. Okay, and we're coming up on true survival kits. Again, they must satisfy the 8 elements of survival, which are fire, water, shelter, first aid, signal, food, weapons, and navigation. Then we got U.S. and international critters, 19 Vietnam POW facts. Wampanoag Indian survival tricks. Have I said that correctly? 99 water survival tricks. Water procurement, filtering, and purification. You can't drink filtered water. It's got to be purified. I talk about that. More than a few ways to purify water. 75 weather, natural forecasting tricks. And there's not only weather, but we're talking things like tsunamis and earthquakes too. Okay, you'll read it. You'll know about those in the survival program. Web HTML, and I put that in there because I talk about everything when it comes to wilderness, health, crime, and money survival. That's part of money survival, if you will. And I'm no internet expert, as you can see. I'm learning this myself. So, but it's a way to get the word out. And you got it there on the right hand side. What are the odds? World War II statistics, wild food procurement, weather. The wraths of Mother Nature. Good write-up. You see how Mother Nature, all she possesses, she doesn't care who you are, whether you're a priest, a nun, or you're a scumbag. She's gonna whoop on you every which way. If you're ignorant or you're disrespectful, it's coming. Okay, but my program teaches you how to be respectful for Mother Nature and all she possesses, and know what's coming. And bottom line is avoid survival threats in the first place. And right here we got pretty much all the programs. Everything's listed. Okay, from what you just seen. The packages, the newsletters, the special reports, special intelligence reports, and we got a legend. You see on the right hand side, I referred you to this or that. And some of them you may not know what it means, but here's the legend. Oh, there's the videos right there. Other special reports, the videos, newsletters, incredible mysteries, and there's the legends right there on the left and on the right hand side over there. Okay, above incredible mysteries. Okay, and that's about it for the. I tried to get under 30 minutes, I couldn't do it, and I'll just leave it like it is. We're clocking in at 45 minutes. Let me get back to the title real quick and stop this. Let me tell you, got any questions, go to www.survivalexpert.com. You got any concerns for me? I prefer you to email me, but better than that, I prefer you to just write me a letter using the post office, put a stamp on it, because I get a lot of spam mail, a lot of it, you know, because I'm out here in the open, so people see my web address and my email address, so they spam me. Anyway, got any questions, any concerns? Look at www.survivalexpert.com. Go through that and go through the other websites so you can make a good buying decision. And if you really want to talk to me, just drop me a letter through the post office via mail. Okay? You have a safe one, anytime, anywhere.